and this is my newly renovated kitchen tour. I did a very slight renovation on my kitchen. I didn't replace any cabinets or anything major, mainly just some paint, adding some wood features, and adding a fun furniture piece. So let me show you what all we did. If you haven't yet, go ahead and click on the link down below to see how I planned out and measured for all of this board and batten. There was definitely a lot of thought and trial and error that went into it before we even started the project to figure out how far apart I wanted them and how many beams I wanted. All right, the project is really coming along. We have all of the cabinets. We're getting ready to put them together. And then over here, we have our shiplap wall done. This back area here is the only area that still needs to be finished being painted. The white needs another coat, and the shiplap we just got in today, so that needs 2 coats. And other than that, we are getting really close. This is our dining nook, and we have added board and batten all the way to the ceiling, and I am so happy with how it turned out. Oh, here's Milo. This project took about 3 weeks, took a little longer than I planned for it to, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. In this dining room, we also replaced the light fixture and added a new clock, and then it's fall, so I put up some fall decorations. If you haven't already seen it, I did put a video up on this cabinet showing a little bit of behind the scenes and how I stocked it. But I did build this from scratch using in-stock cabinets and then painted them green, got a project top and some legs, and there you go. We have a new sideboard. I love this. It's a lot of storage. I haven't filled the end piece yet. Here's another feature wall. We did shiplap on this wall in our drop station, and my husband did help me with this whole project. It wasn't just me, but the shiplap we decided to put here because once upon a time there was actually a wall right here cutting these 2 areas off. And so when we removed that wall, this back section ended up being about a ½ an inch further back towards the backyard than this front section. So we knew that the wall was kind of crooked. So when they patched it, they kind of had to do a smoothing effect right here. And so we put up these boards and put a shim at the end, so now it's a lot less noticeable. And I think if I didn't actually tell you that the wall is kind of crooked, you probably wouldn't even notice. Or maybe you would because every wall is actually crooked. But he's copying me. We have been loving this wall as well. And then the big star of the show is our accent color. You've already seen it on our sideboard, but I did paint some green on this wall and our island. Now, this is real life. I did not clean the counter for you before filming this video because I figure, you know, do you guys always have clean counters? But this is the one place that's still left to finish, is making sure all the edges are crisp and clean. Right now the green's on the wall, but the edges aren't perfect. But we will get back to that at some point. I do have the painting supplies still out and ready for that. My patience level for that isn't so great, so I think that'll be a husband project. Star of the show number 2 is the green island. I'm loving having the island be green. It wasn't really noticeable before, but now that it's green, I feel like it just pops, and it's green on the other side under the chairs as well. So that's awesome. We also got this new faucet just to tie in the black, and it is automatic, so that's pretty cool. We already had a black sink. Now the black sink was an accident by the builder when we bought our house, but now it works perfect. We were originally going to have one of those like double-sided sinks, and I'm so glad they screwed up and we got this one. It looks fantastic in the space. Above the island, we did get 3 pendant lights that match the light over the dining room table, and I am in love with them. I'm loving that they're cylindrical. I usually go for more like square things, but this kitchen I kind of went with more of a circular theme, other than the hardware, because I thought about circles after I got the hardware. For the hardware, I chose to go with just a simple pole And these poles, I wanted to make sure they were long, but that they fit in the holes that were already there. So one of the things that is kind of annoying is that these stick out and they grab on my pockets, but I didn't think that the small amount that we had drilled would be a good size for a pole. I thought it'd be too small, and I didn't want to re-drill holes. So that's what we went with. And then I did get hexagon tiles, and I'm loving them. And I did get really long poles over here on this green cabinet that match the other poles. In everything on this side of the kitchen, from the cabinets to the pantry, all we did was paint the walls white. And then I did get a new little picture. I previously had a little homemade canning jar right there that said home is where the food is. But I got this little cat metal design, and it's so cute because this is where the cats eat their breakfast and their second breakfast and their third breakfast, you know. Now, last but not least, have you been here for the saga, the fridge saga? So the fridge was definitely not part of this kitchen renovation plan. We had a stainless steel fridge here, and in the middle of our project, the fridge died and stopped cooling the food. This is the second time that had happened with that fridge, so it was time to get a new fridge. There was no more, it'll be just fine. So we've gone with a new fridge, and I'm actually really loving how this fridge is laid out and how much storage there is, but the fridge saga, you guys. So this is the second fridge that's been delivered. It is defective. It does cool things, so that's a plus. We're at least in the right direction, but they are delivering tomorrow again. So we will have our third fridge delivered tomorrow, and hopefully we will get to keep it. But I'm loving the black stainless color, and this is probably my new favorite color. In my last house, we had a black fridge, and then this house, everything was stainless because all of the appliances came stainless, so I got a stainless fridge to match. And I'm just liking this black stainless a whole lot better. It stays a lot more clean, and then the side-by-side is giving me so much more room. Now, the question, what about our other appliances? Because they're still stainless steel. We're planning on waiting until they die to replace them, at least as of this moment. And that could be any time because each one of them has an issue. So our microwave makes like a noise when it goes, and it gets really loud sometimes. So something's weird there. Our stove doesn't always light the burner. And then our dishwasher a lot of times will smell like rotten eggs. And we've gone through and cleaned the trap and cleaned the filters and done everything we can think of, and that still happens. So who knows how long it'll be, but we might be replacing them sooner than later. All right, let's talk cost for this kitchen upgrade. As you know, I've been participating in Shelf-Timber, which is a month-long pantry challenge where you use up the food that you already have. If you haven't seen my Shelf-Timber videos, definitely go watch them. They're fantastic. I was using up all the food in our house that kind of been stashed away for a while, and so we were really able to make use of all those foods that had just been stagnant, and that actually ended up saving us quite a bit of money. I'm going to continue that challenge through the month of October as well. So between those 2 months, that completely pays for the entire kitchen renovation, aside from the fridge. The fridge we did dip into the emergency fund just because that wasn't something we were expecting, but the lighting in both areas, the faucet, the decorations, the knobs and pulls, and then all of the wooden materials and paint that we needed for the project. So that's the new kitchen. Leave a comment down below. What is your favorite part? What would you have done differently? What am I missing that you think I should have? One thing that comes to mind for me is we used to have balances above our windows, and we currently don't. And I did leave the holes that we had for the balances in case we wanted to use them again. So I'm still kind of on the fence about if we should put balances up or not. But I'm absolutely loving how this turned out. It's so cozy. We're little by little just getting to our house and updating each area. We've been in this house for 6.5 years now, and some areas are really starting to need paint. We're switching from flat to semi-gloss, so it's easier to keep clean. And I think the goal is over the next 4 years to kind of work our way through the whole house, getting the whole house painted little by little. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really love to see you here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.